Hey everybody, Ray Pastor here, and today we're going to talk about Alienware's new X Series gaming laptops. Super excited to check these out. I'm really excited for the next gen. I've had several variations of Alienware laptops. I run a lab where we have all Alienware machines, so I deal with these machines all the time. And here's what's super cool. My personal laptop gets upgraded this year. So the next gen machine that I get is going to be this new X series. So let's take a look. And what I've done to actually go through this is I have basically built the machine that I'm going to be buying, and I'm going to talk about all the new features and specs. First, let's kind of go through the pricing, and then let's kind of talk about what I think of all the new specs, and we'll talk about each one. And if you haven't seen my video about whether or not you should buy an Alienware machine or not, go check that out. I'm not going to talk about like why you should or shouldn't buy an Alienware right now. I want to talk about the cool, good and bad things about the new Alienware laptop that I'm excited about, and some things maybe I'm not. So let's go through everything. So first of all, my current machine. So currently what I have is I have an Alienware R17 laptop, and it's now 2 gens old, but it's going strong. It's going on this. I've actually had it for 4 years now, and the machine's amazing. Lasted the whole time. I've had a few issues with it, but now I'm finally at the point where, yes, every 4 years I get an upgrade. So it's time for me. Perfect timing. Thank you, Alienware, for coming out with the machine right at the right time. And just so that you know, I should state this before I get into this. My university only has a contract with Dell, so I have no choice at work but to buy Dell computers. So I can purchase Alienware. It's kind of like my only choice. So if you're wondering why it's my only choice. Alienware's it. It's my choice. But I'm really glad that that's my choice. Trust me. All right, so basically what I've done is I've selected the new Alienware X17 R1 gaming laptop. You can see, and with the options I've selected, it's basically about $4,200, which is about what I expect to pay for a laptop. So we're going to go through all the specs. So let me talk about the default specs, what I've selected, and then let's talk about what I think of all these things. So it's pretty cool. 11th generation Intel Core i9, up to 5 gigahertz and 8 cores. Default comes with Windows 10, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 380. That's the graphics card I want to see. I've selected 64 gigabytes of RAM. I'll talk about that in a sec. 2 terabytes of hard drive space, and let's go through. So $4,200 is the price that I'm looking at. So let's go through and look at, so basically the default, the only thing that I've selected. So by default, this comes with the NVIDIA GeForce 380, which is awesome. So the 32 gigabytes of RAM is what it comes with, for the default price being about $3,900. I did choose the 64 gigabyte, and I'll tell you why. So I currently have the 32 gigabyte. It's lasted me a solid 4 years, and I still think 32 gigabytes is potentially overkill. But you've got to remember, I need to have my machines for 4 or 5 years, so I'm going to get the best just in case I really start finding a need for this. So I'm going to pay the extra $300 for the 64 gigabytes. I totally think it's worth. That's not a bad way. That's a good $300 spent when I'm already spending this much. I'm going to keep the 2 terabytes of space. That's perfect for me. I really don't need more than that. I'm a huge fan of a light on my laptop. All my personal files and everything are installed on the cloud. Only thing on my laptop is hardware, and I cycle through games. So like when I'm not playing something or I haven't played it in a while, I uninstall it anyway because I like a light laptop. So I don't have a lot on there going on. So the default is fine for me. For others, it may be worth buying the hard drive space. The comes with, obviously it's a laptop, so it comes with the keyboard, and I'll talk about the monitor when we get there, and like the casing and stuff, what I think about it. I don't need new monitors because I have a bunch of monitors. But as far as support for Alienware machines, I'm a huge fan of buying the best support, which you can see is $900 for 4 years. I've had a lot of problems with my machines, but they're also usually used in a lab, so a lot of students are using them a lot. So maybe your home machine doesn't get really used like that, but I have the highest warranty I can get on all my machines. I should also say that the price my university pays for the warranty is not what you see here. We get a discount because we're a school. So it's a little different pricing, but this is how much it is for everyone else. And I do totally think that you should have a warranty for as long as you want the machine. It's so worth it when something happens. I had my monitor went out not too long ago. I had to get that fixed just for no reason. I mean, laptops, things happen. I've had Mac, PC, so many different laptops throughout the years, and I have literally always had some kind of issue with all of them, just the nature of a laptop. All right, so I would totally recommend you get the highest 4-year warranty for your machine. All right. I'm a big fan of that accidental damage, which is okay. Software, no, I'm not getting any of that kind of stuff. No accessories. I've got mice and all that kind of cool stuff. Okay, so that's my machine. So this is the build. Now let's talk about all these features. Let's talk about what this machine comes with, like ports and the casing, the heat and stuff like that. But this is my machine. This is the build. Pretty cool. All right, so you've got that. Let's talk about the Alienware machine itself. All right, so we've got some pictures here of what this comes with, but let's kind of talk about it. So the big thing, and this is the picture I want to show. The big thing with the Alienware laptops, the biggest thing I run into in my lab is heat, cooling the machine down. When we try to run, especially games like Overwatch, League of Legends is pretty good on heat actually, but like World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, Overwatch, those 3 games right there on their max settings are pretty tough on the machines. I mean, we're talking like, 80 to 100 degree, and obviously you're getting to 100, you're bad. Like anything, I consider anything above 80 degrees like danger zone. I should start doing something. So we have throttle stop installed on all of our laptops so that we can keep the heat down. And basically what I do, you can see like this machine goes up to 5 gigahertz. I have mine turned down to like 2.9 on every single one of my laptops because of the heat issues. So let's talk about what Alienware has done. So first of all, we have got quad fans here, which is nice. I like that there are quad fans, so that's good. So there's going to be a lot of movement, right? With the airflow is super important. Then, if you're familiar with what people have been doing to solve the heat problem in a lot of Alienware machines, is they've been reapplying the thermal paste. They take their machine apart, their laptop apart, and they redo the thermal paste because the default thermal paste Alienware has been using in the past has been problematic. This is why I have to use throttle stop on all my machines, and it's become an issue. So Alienware is using a new type of technology that they have patented. You can read about it. Killer cooling technology. Game faster for longer periods of time thanks to Element 31, which is an industry first and Alienware exclusive silicon thermal internal material. Offers 25% improvement, which is a pretty big deal. So it works more efficiently than previous solutions, pulling heat away from the CPU with double the energy storage capacity over the previous generation. Will slow down in double time that it would normally take the CPU temperatures to increase by 45 degrees Celsius. All right, so what that means is that basically this machine should have an improved thermal paste on it, which should solve. The thermal paste was the issue in the last gen. The last 2 gens actually. So it should potentially solve the problem of the heat so that I might not need, I imagine I'm always going to need throttle stop on certain games, especially as my laptop ages and new games come out requiring more power. But I will tell you, I'm very excited for this. This is the one thing that I really, really want to see in machines is that we work on cooling them, because as laptops are notorious for just having terrible cooling technology. All right, so that's big thing I'm excited for, is that they're Alienware's aware of it and they are trying to fix this issue. And I don't necessarily blame them. It's really a laptop thing. We're trying to put some really powerful things in a really small space, which is why a CPU is so much better in many cases. But someone like me, I gotta have a laptop. That's what my university pays for. I have no choice. And other people, you need the mobility. All right, and then we have 4 fans. And obviously when you buy a machine, I always recommend getting a laptop stand. I don't recommend getting extra fans around your laptop. I think that does nothing. But I do, a laptop stand helps huge, significantly. Especially if you're trying to put this on like a carpet or something, which is just terrible, 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 terrible to do. All right. Okay, so I'm really excited. We've got an 8-core 11th gen Intel core, so that's exciting. That's good. We have the latest NVIDIA processor, the 380. Super excited about that. So that's all really good stuff. Very good. So that'll be great for like your graphic technologies. I've had a lot of good experiences with NVIDIA. In fact, my current machine has the NVIDIA 180, and I'm doing great with Call of Duty, Black Ops, Cold War, and all the latest games with my GeForce 180. And then in my labs laptops, we actually have a 270, which is also doing really well. So I'm very confident that the new graphics card is going to be great. That's not really anything that I'm concerned about. Visually, I've been very happy with the default monitors on the Alienware laptops for a number of years now. You know, the new one is 4K, which my current one is 4K as well. 120 refresh rates. That's great. 4 ms response time. I could, you know, go to a 1. I prefer to see like a 1 there, but I don't think you're going to notice any issues with that. And the 120 hertz refresh rate, great. And, you know, and when I have external monitors, which I use anyway, I make sure I have all the right specs for them. But that's all very good, exciting, good stuff for the monitor. I'm happy with that. All right. Here's where... So let's kind of check out this machine. Let me get some good pictures of the machine itself before I go down into, well, I guess I'll keep scrolling and we'll get into, because I want to talk about the casing and the machine itself. All right, so here we go. Oh, here are some pics of it. Okay, so first of all, we see the top here. So 2 gens ago, the machines didn't have these vents on the front of the top of the machine, like right before the monitor. You can see these vents that I'm pointing out, and this is a huge source of heat problems in that generation. The M version of machines that which is now last gen, did have this on the front to help significantly reduce heat, and they did a good job. You can see we have heat on the side vents, and we have vents on the top. So all over the front of the top of the machine. Remember, heat rises. So that's the best place to have vents. And traditionally, machines only had them on the bottom and sometimes the sides. We can see a side picture here where we have them on the side. And yes, they do have them on the bottom as well. And the back of the machine. So let's get some pics. So look, we can see the back, and we'll talk about the ports in a little bit. We can see the back. We'll find some more pics of that. We'll kind of, I want to talk about that. So this is starting to talk about the ports. Let me actually scroll up here and show you more pics of the machine so that you can see where all those vents are. So here's a good pic of the front of the machine. Oops. You can see these side and front ports. Super important that you have that. Let's take a look at the side. Got the side vents, there's the power, and we've got the back, and then let's take a look at the bottom. Then we've got our bottom vents, and remember they have 4 fans, and the fans are like here and here, so these are directly placed where the fans are for, you know, good heat dissipation. So I have a feeling these are going to handle much better than you know, previous versions. And actually we can go through the ports here, so you can see there's no surprises here with the ports. These are actually the same ports that I have on all of my machines, so nothing too surprising. I am excited that they have 2 USB-C ports that you can use both of those for monitors, so that's really nice. that you are able to right away just use those for monitors. I currently only have one USB-C on my machine, so that's exciting that you've got two of them. Then you've got the basic regular traditional USB. We've got our internet and our HDMI port as well. If you want to plug a monitor in HDMI or something like VR or something like that. Okay, so this is really nice. A little SD port. So this is something I've been just annoyed that my machines do not have this. I always have these little, I have a USB reader that I have to plug my USB into because a lot of people are streaming, and especially if we're using the, any of us that do any video and we use our high def, SLR cams, we gotta you put the card in. So it's nice that they have it. And then they have the mini display port as well, the Thunderbolt. So you can see all the basic, what you expect from an Alienware machine, from any high-end machine, what it should have. Obviously, I'm a big fan of more ports than this, and I do use port extenders. But I realize that I power those externally, so I realize why they're not on here. So I actually do have... right now I have two external ports plugged to my machine. I have a Dell Display Link that I use, and then just a regular USB extender because I have cameras, microphones, mice, just other things like my controllers for my Xbox and that I use on the PC when I play Call of Duty and just stuff like that. So I do need more ports than what they have. And I have two monitors hooked up to my machine too for a triple monitor setup. So you need all these ports, but I'm really glad they've got the two. So the big surprises and things I like here are the two USB-C and that they have the SD. All the other things they have on the other machines, so that's not like too exciting for me because we already have them, right? Okay, so let's continue on here. They have the Alienware. We'll get there in a sec. Hold on a second. Oh yeah, here's where they're talking about the ports. They talk about the two USC. Both can serve as an additional display. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm really glad about that. They have their killer Wi-Fi technology that they use for everything. They have the Alienware Command Center. Honestly, I don't use this for anything. I don't feel like I'm missing out. I do use it to change like the colors on my keyboard and stuff, but I don't actually use this when I'm controlling like my power usage and heat. I'm always using throttle stop, so I don't really use this command center. I haven't found that it's any better than what I'm currently using, so I tend not to use it, but you may think differently and want to use it. And you can see they're just talking about more about the ports, but it has the basic ports that you would expect this machine to have. And then finally, let's get the dimensions. So they've made this machine a little smaller, which is kind of surprising. So like, I personally don't care about the size. I'm happy with the current sizes, mostly because I care more about the heat, and I'd rather a bigger machine that takes care of the heat, but they did make this a little smaller. So that makes me a little curious. Like, hopefully it really does. I do like the design. I think they've improved the design for heat. So I think this will be like there's this balance of playing with the size of the machine and playing with what's going to happen with the heat. So it is interesting to see them drop the heat, and that it does help them compete with other computer makers that are dropping the size. So you can see the size here. Basically height, it depends which of these displays you actually have, but you can see the dimensions here. Weight 7 pounds. That's not bad. I honestly don't really bring my laptop too many places, so I'm okay with that. For students, like bringing it to class and stuff, lighter is obviously going to be better. I have a nice, huge backpack for my 17-inch laptop, so it's going to fit no matter kind of what the size is. Really not going to notice too much of a difference here. That's not the most important thing for me, but you can see what it is. They have made it a little smaller than they have it been previously. They show a nice, cool setup. I actually have one of these huge curved monitors in my office, and I totally don't like the curved monitor, but that's besides the point here. And then they're selling you some other stuff here, but that's it. That's the new machine. Pretty cool, right? I mean, I think it's pretty cool. I'm excited for the I don't have a white Alienware laptop. I have a black one, so that'll be kind of cool. I like how like Apple did that with like the changing the colors, and I like being able to like pick something different every time. So I think that's kind of cool. I've always liked the RGB Alienware colors they have like on the keyboard and everything. Always thought that was just fun to play around with. My kids think it's really cool. They're like, Dad has a really cool computer because it's color. And like my mouse is and stuff, so they think that's really cool. But these are the top of the line specs right now. I mean, that's it. You've got an excellent core. You've got the best video card out there, in my opinion. I've got the highest RAM, 64. I mean, I know you can get PCs with 120 and stuff like that, but I think 64 is a little overkill right now. I think 32 is like a really solid. I mean, I could get away with. I have machines that are 8 gigabytes at my house that are still functioning very well with pretty high-end games just on lower settings. So, I think 64 is a very safe number for the next 4 to 5 years. And as always, I totally recommend the warranty. But otherwise, yeah, I'm really excited for the machine. I just wish I had it right this second, but I've got to wait a couple months to order it, wait for the semester to start and all that good stuff. So I will have it soon. But for those of you that have one or want one or anything, comment on the video. Let me know what you think, or what you're excited about, or what you're looking forward to, or what questions you have. If you're concerned about anything like the heat or the display or the case or anything like that, let me know. And have a good day, y'all. Later.